Okay, so here we go. Starting up live stream here. Apologize, we're having to do it on our phone because for some reason the computer is being a hater, and I don't know why. So we're gonna just be doing it here on the phone, and it should be fine, I think. Having never done it on the phone, I have no idea. Let me see if I can even see chat or anything like that. Oh, good, I can. I just have to move the stuff to scroll, so I just type in a message. There we go. Okay. So we should be good. So as soon as people start showing up, I guess we will start and just give it a few minutes. So as stated in our message about this postponement, we're really, really sorry that this ended up being late. Unfortunately, we've been doing a lot of trauma work in therapy lately, and I guess that threw us off more than I was aware of. It's Kit, by the way, for anybody who isn't sure and who is watching this later. But yeah, uh, I was very heavily dissociated most of yesterday and didn't even realize until suddenly I get messages that say that, it's way past when the live stream is supposed to be. And I'm like, oh my goodness. 'Cause I honestly had no idea what time or day it even was. So sorry about that again. But like I said, just wait a few minutes here until people start showing up, and then we'll see. Ah, Catherine, I can't say your last name. I'm so sorry. Hello, Rainbow System. Hello, Aspie Jedi. Yay! Glad to see you all made it. Yeah, we are so sorry about missing the stream yesterday. I was very heavily dissociated most of yesterday. I didn't even realize what day it was. And yes, it is Kit. I, for instance, I went to the gym yesterday to get some exercise, and I could have sworn I was there 10, maybe 20 minutes. And then I get a call that apparently I was there for over an hour. So, yeah, my perception of time yesterday was completely screwed up. So, how is everybody doing today? Anything fun planned for this 4th of July if you're in the US, or anything fun planned just because it's a weekend? Yana, what you're doing is appreciated so much. You really don't have to feel bad. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. Much appreciated. It's a big deal for us when we make a promise. We try to keep it as best as possible, and we all kind of feel really bad if we mess up on keeping a promise because it's really important to us for various and sundry reasons. Howdy, Squip. It's good to see you. Catherine, pretty good. I have nothing planned except for pizza. Hey, pizza's always good. Nothing wrong with pizza. I like pizza. Ask me Jedi. Nothing going on. You guys, we're planning on doing a fun dinner tonight, maybe seeing some fireworks. How are y'all's doing? Oh, we're doing all right. Tired, but otherwise okay. Definitely less dissociative than yesterday. Rainbow System. Oh wow, I forgot it was Saturday. LOL. I don't have anything planned for today. Oh, yeah. I seem to quite frequently forget what day it is. Don't feel too bad. I have reminders and a calendar and all kinds of things to help me know what day it is because otherwise I probably would never know what day it was. Catherine, you guys are good on promises. It's all right. And me too. Aw, thank you. That's very appreciated. Yeah, today should be fun, being the 4th of July for us over here in the US and all that good stuff. So it should be entertaining and hopefully the fireworks will be fun and not horribly loud and disorienting. So, yay. Ask me Jedi, where we live, people are allowed to shoot off fireworks for 9 days. Ooh, that's horrible. Yeah, we have neighbors that like to shoot off big loud fireworks. Thankfully, not for that long, and that definitely does sound like sensory nightmare. Dear goodness, but yeah, we have neighbors who sometimes shoot off some fairly loud fireworks, and we generally just stay inside because, oh my goodness, no. No, 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 thank you. With the loud explosion that sounds like a bomb going off next to your house. No. Because we've had a couple of times where we went outside to watch the fireworks and that just ended up being a mistake because it was so loud and so disorienting that it ended up all kinds of dissociative. It was just really bad. So we just watched the fireworks that are from the nearby events on our balcony, and that usually works out well because then we can't hear them, but we can still see them. Our neighbors too, the ones that sound like cannons, can't sleep. Oof, yeah, very hard relate on that one. Trying to sleep through fireworks is horrible. I mean, as it is, I already sleep with earplugs and a noise machine because PTSD makes it hard to sleep. I wake up to any noise. So fireworks can be a bit much. Doesn't help that we also have neighbors whose kids are out at 12 a.m., 1 a.m., and onward yelling and screaming like banshees. But, it is what it is, I guess. Squip, even with the red flag fire danger warnings, they're being set off for a couple of weeks either side of the 4th. Oh, that's terrible. People should really be more responsible. Like, we understand people wanting to be patriotic and all of that, but I mean, my goodness. At least, I mean, come on, get some sparklers if you want to be patriotic. You don't have to set off large amounts of loud, dangerous, possibly fire causing fireworks, especially when people go and buy the illegal ones and then start shooting them off around houses. It's like, come on, guys, this is not a good idea. Like, when we were really young, we used to go out to um, our grandparents' property that they had that was on a lake, and they used to shoot off fireworks over the lake so that anything that would happen, it would happened right over water, so there wasn't any potential danger. And then in the morning, we would go out and scoop up all of the used up fireworks off the water. But when people do it in neighborhoods, it's just like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? SB Jedi, same here, Squip. Oh, that's terrible. Squip, LOL, sparklers. As a kid, I loved them. Yeah, I like sparklers. Gotta say, they're really pretty, but at the same time, the absolute terror of accidentally burning ourselves is a thing. So we always have to be kind of careful because a lot of us are, for various sundry reasons, due to trauma stuff, really scared of being burned. So they're both fun and terrifying all at the same time. Squip, as an adult, I cringe at the thought of handing kids magnesium. Yeah, understandable. That stuff is really hot. A lot of times, whenever we do anything like with my daughter, we'll get those little mini poppers that you throw at the ground that make a flash so that, that's something she can do that's not really going to hurt her. They're little tiny pieces of gunpowder. Catherine, having some Cheez Its. Well, that's fun. Since our body has celiac disease, we can't eat anything with wheat in it, but we can eat gluten free versions. So enjoy the Cheez Its. Ask me Jedi, how's the family? Oh, family's good. Um, my poor husband's a bit tired, but thankfully, we're all gonna probably take a nap later. And I'm going to take our golden retriever puppy to puppy classes. So that'll be fun. Get to wear my mask to protect from the virus and go take my puppy to learn fun new things because you can only have one pet parent at the class at a time. So we're working hard with her on learning all of her good manners. And we figure, especially because there's going to be fireworks going on tonight, it's probably good to keep practicing all of that kind of stuff with her as much as possible. Um, we had a hard few days there for a little while because my daughter's understandably getting very tired of being in quarantine and very tired of not being able to go places and do things like she used to. So she was rather cranky. So that was special. But things are evening out a little more now because we've found some activities that we can safely do with her. So that's helping. Squip, yeah, and the charcoal snakes. Charcoal snakes, are those ones that zip across the ground? I don't know that I've heard that name before. Oh, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm kind of big on not having any sort of fire far too close to me. So yeah, no. I'm big on not getting too close to any of that because just no, thank you. I prefer the fireworks that I can watch from a distance and don't have to touch, and wear hearing protection and all that good stuff because otherwise they're too loud. SCJ, they roll out and look like oh goodness. Rainbow System, yeah, same. Squip, echo that. Yeah. It's I don't do loud None of us are really big on loud noises, particularly, especially the kids. Loud noises are very startling for a lot of them. So all of the littles tend to be like, nope, 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 nope on the loud. Squib combat vet, not my favorite time of the year. Yeah, I would bet. We've got a friend who is a combat veteran who also is not big on the fireworks or any sort of loud noises. We once went miniature golfing, and one of the miniature golf holes makes a very loud popping noise and scared the crap out of both of us. Mima Tata, is that how you say that? Happy 4th of July. Oh, thank you. Happy 4th of July also. Let me just scroll up here so we don't miss anything. Have to keep scrolling up on the phone to make sure we don't miss any of the chat because the computer was being a hater. I don't know why, so we had to do it on the phone. For some reason, I could not get the live stream stuff to work on the computer. Mima, I feel you. I hate loud noises too, and I hate people touching me as well. Oh yeah, I'm not big on being touched. I do no, no, thank you. Mm-mm. I don't want anybody touching me that I don't invite to touch me. A lot of us feel that way. Most of us are fairly no on being touched by random people. Why a lot of us don't like big crowds, especially. Squid, my plans hatching Pokemon eggs. Oh, you playing Pokemon Go? That sounds like fun. My husband plays Pokemon Go, and he will frequently wander and collect things just to hatch specific eggs. Thick. So, oh my god, I can't pronounce that. I'm so sorry. Loud noises are awful. Yes, yes, they are. Squip. There's a Pokemon event on yesterday. Oh, really? I did not know that. Ducklet was released. Oh, and there's a flying Pikachu. A flying Pikachu. That's interesting. I did not know a Pikachu could fly. So hey, learned a new thing today. I've been trying to hatch Autono. Oh yeah, my husband just hatched one of those the other day. The big one he was working on when he was working on leveling up his shiny Dragonair into a Dragonite, and it finally evolved. So he was super excited about that. Mima, does Pikachu fly? Yeah, I was very surprised about that one too. I'd never heard of a flying Pikachu. Aspie Jedi. Thixolotl, is that how you pronounce it? Yes. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Thank you for asking, Aspie Jedi. That's very helpful because yeah, I'm bad at pronouncing things sometimes. Squip did that on Dratini Day. Oh, cool. Yes. Thank you for the help for anybody who ever helps us pronounce a name, because yeah, we're not always the best at that sometimes. Catherine, loud noises are complicating for us. Personally, I don't like them, but Jack and Melissa both like them for some reason. Yeah, it's one of those things where, different system members can have different feelings on exactly the same experience. So it's always kind of interesting. It's kind of like I enjoy spicy food, but many of our littles are very not into spicy food. I like eating bell peppers when they're cooked in the right way, and Berserker completely hates bell peppers and does not want anything to do with them or to ever taste them. And Jeremy really likes anchovies on pizza. I think fish in general is gross, but anchovies are worse. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. Squid Pikachu flies when tied to colorful balloons. Oh, okay. Pixelotl. I understand my username can be hard to pronounce. Yeah, it's okay. It's just I've seen some people's usernames in some chats and other groups and things like that, and I go, okay, there's not a vowel in there. What on earth does that say? Squip, if your husband is willing, exchange trainer codes. Yeah, I can certainly ask him. I will see what he says and let him know. And if he is willing, I have email with you guys so I can send that information along. Squip, cheers. Yay. Yeah, things have been interesting with the fireworks already over here because we've had some people setting off fireworks in the middle of the night and scaring the crap out of our poor dogs. So thankfully they weren't doing it for too long the other couple of nights, so hopefully tonight won't be too terrible. I just always feel bad for our dogs because they get so freaked out by all of the noise because they don't know what it is or what's going on. But hopefully it won't be too bad. And then we're all pretty excited over here because on a positive news note, we are getting our very own house all by ourselves. My mother is moving to a new home, and we're going to keep the house we're currently in, and we get to decorate it and do all of that stuff however we want. So we're pretty excited about that. We'll finally get to have our own house. Mima, do you like cats? I do like cats. I am just unfortunately allergic to them. And the allergy is bad enough that I can't breathe if I'm around them for too long. So we've always kind of wanted to have a hairless cat just because, they don't produce the dander so much like the bird ones do. But because we have dogs and two of them are rather large, we figure that's probably not the best idea to introduce a cat suddenly. It's probably something that'll happen years down the road. Rainbow System, my cats were freaked out by the fireworks. Yeah, I bet. I can't imagine most animals probably like fireworks because it's loud and bright and disorienting for them. I can't imagine any animal would really be big on that. Mima, my cat too. Yeah, I bet. Like I said, I don't think most animals probably like them. Yana, that's great about the house. Oh, thank you. Dixolotl, my cat hates fireworks and other loud noises too. Yeah, I mean, come on. The poor creatures are probably just so confused about all of the noise and everything. Aspie Jedi, we used to get calming chews for our dog to help with fireworks anxiety. Yeah, we tried that for a while, but unfortunately, a couple of our dogs who are older, the two that are actually going to be living with my mother, because she's taking the two older dogs and we're keeping the two younger ones because the two younger ones are the bigger ones and they need more frequent walks. And the two older ones are very heavily bonded with each other, but they both have a lot of serious anxiety issues and nothing has really ever helped. We even tried getting them doggy anti-anxiety meds from the vet, and even that didn't do anything for them, unfortunately. Takes a little awesome. Aw. Catherine long stretch. Yes, good stretches are always nice. Linda, I know what they are, and I still want to hide under the table with the dog. Oh yeah, it's understandable. They're loud. They're really, really loud. That's why, personally, I like to watch the colors, but I'm not big on the loudness. So that's why we watch the ones from the events that are in the city nearby, and we sit on our balcony and watch them so that we don't have to be too close and we don't have to hear them. We just get to see all the pretty colors. And if we ever do go to an actual fireworks show where we are going to be around the loud noise, we wear those big, clunky hearing protection headphones that people use for firing ranges and construction equipment. So then we put in a pair of earplugs too, and then it's not so bad. Because then it's more of a muffled thud as opposed to a loud boom. Takes a little. Someone fired off an M80, which sounds like a bomb going off, scared all of us. Oh goodness, yeah, those are terrible. I do not like those at all. We've had people do that before around here, and it was like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? There was no reason for that. Speaking of bombs going off, when we were a teenager, we were living with our mother and a friend and actually had a literal bomb go off outside of our house, and my mother slept completely through it. Don't know how. Obviously, she sleeps like the dead. But yeah, that was terrifying. So, can understand not okay with the big loud boom. Because no, no, thank you. Nima, I once was going on a trip with my college mates, and I had a massive panic attack because it was a crowded area and there was fireworks. Good times. Oh yeah, that sounds no fun. I don't do crowds. Most of us don't like crowds at all. The idea of being surrounded by a group of strangers and you can't escape and they might touch you just makes all of us go, ooh. Aspie Jedi, we're conflicted. Have trauma around fireworks, but like the sight, not the sounds, so usually avoid them. Well, that makes sense. You could always watch fireworks events like on TV and then just mute the sound. That's something that we've heard from different people that they'll watch like the events with the fireworks on the television and then just turn the sound off. Or if you live somewhere that does fireworks events, you can go park far away from the actual event so you don't hear the sound, but then you can watch the colors. Because like that's what we do on our balcony. But we're very sorry to hear that you have trauma around fireworks. That's no fun. Yeah, we've done that too, but displays are trauma triggers, so yeah. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's no fun. Can definitely understand we've got some things that, you know, are trauma triggers for us that most people just consider normal day-to-day things. So I definitely understand that. Like, for instance, the absolute terror of getting anywhere near anything fire or hot. And mind you, I cook. I personally do a lot of the cooking for the whole family and am also at the same time abjectly terrified of getting burned or being near fire. So there you go. Rainbow system, yeah, same here. Fire is one for us too. Yeah, fire is complicated. It's one of those things that like a campfire is really pretty, and I'm okay with a campfire, but I don't want to get too close to it. And any fire that's anywhere near our body, no, thank you. System unbound. Oh yay, caught the live. Hello, hi, welcome. It's Kit, in case you're not aware. Aspie Jedi, the whole family thing around certain holidays, yeah, triggers can be weird. Yeah, can definitely relate about holidays. Like we have certain holidays that just are not a fun time for us because of the imagery. Because while not going into any details, for us there was a religious basis to some of our trauma, and so seeing certain religious symbols, like on Easter, for instance, or Christmas, just is a nightmare for all of us. So, we kind of try to avoid all of that as possible. On Easter, we do like Easter egg hunts and stuff like that, but we stay far, far away from any of the religious connotations of it. It's probably why, I'm pagan and we've got a million other different religions in here. Some people in our system are Christian, other people are everything else under the sun you probably think of. So, yeah. Catherine, we live in Arizona, which is pretty cool, but we all have differing tolerances to heat. The reason we brought this up is because Arizona has a lot of fireworks and the heat doesn't help with fire. Oh yeah. We live in Nevada, so can hardcore relate to that with the heat and the fire because things are so dry here. Definitely no on that. Like no, we have trouble with doorbells and knocking, but we order food all the time because going out is worse. Oh yeah. Yeah, I really don't particularly like people coming to the door. I would, if I could, I would literally put up a sign that says, if I don't know you personally, go away. But, unfortunately, we have to get packages and things like that. So, yeah, we, unfortunately, once a friend and I were coming back from a store and we got chased by some drunk guys who proceeded to bang on the door quite loudly for several hours. So, not really big on people knocking on the door. SB Jedi High Unbound, yay, saying hi to each other. That's always nice. SB Jedi religious trauma, feel that too. Yeah, it's no fun. SB Jedi, yep, proud pagans, most of our system. Yeah, we have a mix of various different religions. I mean, I'm a pagan, and then we've got some people who are atheists, some people who are various other denominations, or some people who are just spiritual and non denominational. So it's kind of interesting. It's good. Was about to ask, several Christian festivities are pagan based. Yep, very true. That's why we engage in the pagan traditions for those holidays. Like we do Yule instead of Christmas, and we do celebrate Easter, but we celebrate the pagan roots of Easter as opposed to the Christian part of it. So, we do the holidays without the religious trauma inducing badness. Like now, we found a good workaround. We've got a table outside the door and have people drop things off and instruct them to not knock or ring. It usually works. Oh, that's good. Glad you have a workaround that works for you. Rainbow system, it's a mix for us too. And SV Jedi sends Rainbow Heart. Oh, yeah. We've unfortunately have to answer the door when people come to the door because we have people in our neighborhood who will steal packages and things like that if they're left outside for too long. I mean, thankfully, we live right across the street from two very nice, upstanding police officers. So, thankfully that deters most of the crime in our neighborhood. But, people still like to steal packages for whatever. I don't understand why anybody would want to steal somebody else's package. I mean, God knows what you're going to get. Stealing somebody's packages, you might get something terrible. I mean, seriously, some of the stuff people buy, I don't. even want to know that much about their personal life. Thank you. But yeah, I can't understand when people do stuff like that. It's like, seriously, just no. Stealing is messed up, and people should not do that unless it's an absolute necessity for survival. Because, I mean, I'm pretty much of the opinion if somebody's going to die unless they steal some food to eat, I can give them some slack for that. But stealing just for the heck of it, no. I've seen several YouTube videos pranking package stealers. Yeah, we have two. We actually saw a really interesting and very intricate one where a guy set up a package that when it was opened, it would spray glitter in a 360-degree fan of superfine glitter everywhere. And it also had a camera that they were able to watch who took it and a tracker in it so they could track it down again. Sixth my family celebrates mainly the Christian part of holidays, which is hard on me. Yeah, I would imagine. Sorry to hear that, Thixolotl. That's not fun. Thankfully, while we do have some religious family members, they're not like the in your face kind of religious for Christians, so it helps. Um, my husband does have a couple of family members who send us very religious cards, and he and I both just kind of nod at the nice sentiment and then throw the card away because we're like, no, no, I'm good. We don't need that, thank you. Something about a device that sprays glitter when opened. Yeah, Ask Me Jedi off topic, but question. We're a fairly new system and working on phase one in therapy. Hope to start EMDR in the next 6 months and wondered about any others' experiences. Well, for us, we have a specialist therapist who does do EMDR, and we've done a little bit of the safety building part of that, where we build up a good safety net and coping skills, but we've not actually done the actual EMDR part yet because she wants to get all of us really, really stable first before we try that because, she doesn't want to do anything that would potentially destabilize us. And because there's so many of us, right now, what we're working on is processing trauma and getting the members of our system who are less inclined to be cooperative to understand what we've all really been through because they don't have those kinds of memories so that they can see the necessity in doing these things. So we've done like a little bit, but not a ton. And it's been helpful so far. But we're just kind of taking it really, really slow. So if anybody else has more experience and wants to mention, that's cool. But yeah, we've been doing it really, really slowly. Squip, yes, with lots of exclamation points. Aspie Jedi, thick, sad face and heart. Yeah, much with the sending of good vibes. Legna, I'm so hyper aware I can hear the package truck stop and people walking down the drive, even with headphones and music, so knocking isn't really needed. Yeah, I tend to hear the package truck and the people coming too, plus we have dogs and they bark. But I still really don't like answering the door. What alpha stim? What's that mean? Aspie Jedi, yeah, we're in that stage too. We think it will help, but just wondered. Yeah, it seems to really be helpful to just build up that safety net because there's a reason that EMDR has to be modified for people with DID or OSDD because otherwise doing too much too quickly can just throw you into a tailspin of chaos, and that's nobody's fun time. Nobody wants that. So definitely important to build up that safety first. Yeah, right now our main goal has actually been to slowly but surely make contact with all of the layers of the system that those of us in the front don't have direct contact with, to share with them the memories that we have so that we can get them on our side, essentially, instead of continuing to engage in the behaviors that we were taught by very bad people. So that's been quite a bit of work. We actually just recently got through to one of our most antagonistic system members who, we all used to see him as a big, scary shadow monster with sharp teeth and glowing eyeballs. And, it turns out he's actually just a little kid. So we've been working with him and all of the others from his lair that we brought over to the front on showing them that, you know, they don't have to do those things anymore. They don't have to continue to do the things that we were taught to do by bad people. So that's been our main focus right now. Rainbow System, our therapist has been moving too fast for us. We might have to find someone else. Oh, that's no fun. Yeah, sometimes some people just aren't a good fit. It's always really important to find the right therapist for you all. It really is because the wrong one, it just doesn't work. No matter how many, successes a therapist may have, no matter what they do specifically, if they're not a good fit, they're not a good fit. We've had plenty of therapists that either weren't a good fit or eventually became not a good fit just due to no longer being able to deal with what we were dealing with. So hard to relate on that, and we hope you guys find somebody who's actually helpful because that's no fun. Like the same autism sensory stuff is fun. Yes, much relate on that one. It's like it's always very interesting because I personally am very sensory avoiding. I don't like anything that's overly stimulating. I don't like cold water. I don't like loud noises. I don't like bright colors. I don't like bright lights, anything like that. And then my daughter, while she avoids certain sensory input, like really bright lights or really certain types of loud noises, she can also be very sensory seeking. And that can kind of conflict with my sensory avoidance sometimes. So it ends up being a challenge at times to try to work through that. Like, now, me either I wait till they go away or have a roommate kind of get it, usually for them anyway. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, I am usually the only one who is around during the day when there's packages, either that or one of my system mates. So one of us ends up having to answer the door most of the time, unfortunately. Squib, the Alpha Stim device is a cranial electrotherapy stimulation device. Interesting. I think I've actually heard of that now that you mention what it is. I just never heard the name. What does it do? Because I've heard of the general device, but not what it actually is for. Like that Aspie so fun, sad face, yeah. Dixolotl. My former therapist tried EMDR a bit, but current therapist is pretty new to working with systems. Yeah, we've had therapists that were fairly new, and we've had therapists who had experience but weren't specialists. So, it's one of those things that we've kind of come to the opinion that different therapists can help with different things. So, we will see somebody until such a point as they no longer are a good fit, and then we move on. Like, we're currently seeing a specialist now because we decided that that would be helpful for us, and it actually really has been. Seeing somebody who has so many years of specialized training with DID specifically has made it much, much easier to process things in therapy. So, it's one of those, you got to find what works for you. Squip. In essence, you clip thingies on your earlobes and it sends a microcurrent through the brain. It treats pain, anxiety, depression, and insomnia. Oh, okay. That's pretty interesting. Also sounds kind of uncomfortable. I don't like things on my ears, but sounds like it would be cool. Rainbow, yes, your therapist has to be sensitive to your comfort level. Our therapist is amazing with trauma work and has a couple of clients with DID. Oh, that's cool. Glad to hear that. Rainbow System, yeah, I hope we find someone better. Yeah, we hope so too. Rainbow System, we live in Canada, so there's less therapists to choose from, but I still think there is other options. Yeah, and I mean, there's always the option too that you can potentially do um, video sessions because, like, what with the whole virus thing, most people have been doing video sessions anyway. So you could potentially look for a therapist even who would otherwise be inaccessible to you via distance. Like, say they are in a complete opposite side of Canada, you could still see them if you did it through video calls. So if that was an option, you could look into that. System Unbound, any advice on how to go about polyamory within someone else's marriage? What can I do to stay strong and not feel like a horrible person? I was host before the current one, got married pre-system discovery. Nar. Okay, well, in our experience, because I myself am polyamorous, as is my husband, um, we found that just talking it out, being honest, and trying to figure out something that works mutually for everybody is the best bet. So talk to the person that you all are married to and tell them how you're feeling and what you need, and try to work out a way for everybody to get their needs met in a way that's not going to hurt anybody. That's our general advice. That's what we've done. Like, even though we're both polyamorous for right now, we are living fully monogamously because we have a kid and because of other issues that have gone on that make it so that that's not a real great idea right now. But, it's probably something we will revisit again in the future when, we're all in a better place of healing. But yeah, definitely communicate with them, let them know what you're feeling, what you need, and try to come up with something that's going to make everybody happy to the best of your possible abilities. And, just take it from there. That's really the best advice we can possibly give, is just take it slow and see what you need. Rainbow system, yeah, that's a good idea. I gotta go. Bye. Oh, bye, Thixolotl. The Coven system. Is it possible for your system to have hundreds or even thousands of hidden or unknown altars? Our gatekeeper discovered a bunker in our inner world and believes there's that many altars in it. Yeah, it's perfectly possible. Like, for us, for instance, according to my system mates who I've talked to, there's around 900 of us total internally, but it is perfectly possible for there to be more because there is an entire area of our system that none of us in the front have any awareness of what's there. So it's perfectly possible that there could be lots more people over there. So it's not at all unusual to discover that there are more people than you thought there were, especially for larger systems or polyfragmented systems. It's really not at all uncommon. I mean, when we were first figuring out about RDID, I was personally aware of a total of like 8 of us. And now in the front alone, there's like 70 of us, and then several, obviously, other hundreds in other layers. So it's not at all unusual. I, at this point, am not at all surprised by finding more people in the system than we thought. That, and we've also had, unfortunately, some splits that were in more recent years, so that's meant that our number has grown in that way too. Yeah, it's perfectly possible, and we've heard a lot of larger systems and polyfragmented systems talk about suddenly finding large numbers of new people, so it's not at all unusual. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's always been hard to wrap my mind around how many of us there really are. But the more people I meet personally, the more it's like, oh, okay, yep, that makes sense. All right, because at this point, there's a lot of us, and not everybody fronts, obviously, because that's one of the misconceptions we find a lot of people have about larger systems or polyfragmented systems. They think that everybody is always fronting all the time, and the reality is that, at least for us and most of the systems we've talked to that are bigger, it's usually a handful of people front frequently, and then other people front whenever there's a positive or negative trigger that calls them out, or something is going on that they feel they need to be a part of. And then some people stay inside all of the time because their functions are internal for the system. So it just really depends. Coven system. Thank you so much. It was really scary and made me anxious. So it's comforting to know it happens to others. Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, it can be very scary. It really can. I can tell you a couple of different occasions when I personally stumbled upon a layer in our system that I wasn't aware of, and it was definitely scary. I'm going, oh my goodness, there's all these people that I didn't even know were here, and what do I do? That's one of the reasons why we haven't done full on EMDR yet, is because there's still so many of us who we're not all aware of, that we're kind of working on creating more cohesive awareness first. Kit, can you ask Ruska a question for me? Sure. What is it you want me to ask her? Does Ruska speak and read Russian? Well, she's not able to read it. When she first came around in our system, she was able to speak fluent Russian, and that was really the only language she spoke. She didn't speak any English. But while I'm not going to go into detail, um, that was not exactly met well by the abusers. So she forced herself to learn English really fast and has not used Russian in a very long time. So it's just been in recent years that she's been picking it back up and working on becoming fluent again because it was something that was taken away from her, but because of a lot of the triggers around it and because of unfortunately the trauma surrounding speaking it, it's been very slow going for her. So she's still working on it. She really does want to learn how to read it because she came around before any of us were able to read at all. So it was just not something any of us had learned to do. So I'm thinking because it was a skill none of us had in any language, that probably contributed to that. But yeah, unfortunately, trauma, badness, uh, the Coven system, we recently hit triple digits with our head count. I'm just really nervous about if we get to quadruple. Yeah, I can understand that. It's scary to realize there could be so many people in one body at the same time. And, you know, then your brain starts going, but why are there so many of us? Yeah, yeah, hard to relate on that one. I mean, I've slowly but surely gotten shared memory with some of my system mates to the point that I have a fairly good idea of why there's so many of us. But it was not even remotely pleasant. And from what I have been told, there are people who carry far worse memories than the things that I've even become aware of. So, yeah, not really looking forward to that, but well, I figure we'll get there when we get there. Rainbow system, there's lots of us too. Our gatekeeper told us there is at least 250. Yeah, it's not uncommon for systems to be polyfragmented or to have large numbers. I mean, it's not the most common. Obviously, the average number is, according to statistics, I think something between 8 and 14. But it's not completely uncommon either. Squip. I should phrase that as, do you speak or read Russian? Um, None of the rest of us do. So I'm not exactly sure why she knows Russian. It's one of those weird brain things that I can't explain. It's kind of like we took French as a kid, and I have absolutely zero memory of it. I can say a few words. And while I don't know their name, I'm aware that we do have a system member who speaks a lot of French. And if I read anything that's in French or has French words in it, I will suddenly pick up a French accent. So it's kind of one of those interesting brain things. And for Ruska, have you any thoughts on Rosetta Stone? Let me ask her. Hold on. She says she thinks it's a good language learning software, but it's really expensive. So one of my partners also speaks Irish in her world. Interesting. Or was it Gaelic? Anyways, was looking ahead to offering them Rosetta Stone to learn Irish. Oh, cool. So is it like Celtic Irish, Gaelic Irish? Is it a specific one? Because I know there's several different traditional Irish dialects. So just curious. Catherine, I am back, but I also have questions. My boyfriend thinks there can only be one person controlling a body. I haven't been to therapy yet, but I'm just trying to figure out how to break the news. Um, yeah, it's completely possible for there to obviously be large systems, lots of people, and it's perfectly possible for people to be blended or co-conscious or co-fronting so that you have more than one person sharing awareness, more than one person controlling the body. It's very possible. We've had more than one occasion where I'm doing one thing and somebody else is doing something else. Like I remember very distinctly one time I was reading a book while one of my system mates was sending a text message because I was reading the book to my daughter while one of my system mates was sending a text message and another system mate was interspersed in there singing a song. So yeah, it's very possible to have epic multitasking, which gets really confusing sometimes. The Coven system, we used to stress split a lot, especially after I came out to some friends and our boyfriend about having a system. So that made our system size grow really quickly. Oh, sorry to hear that. That's no fun. Thankfully, we have not had a lot of stress splitting in recent years, but there's definitely been a fair amount in previous years. It's probably because at this point, we've been in therapy for 8 years now, consistently on some level or another, and I've learned a lot of coping mechanisms. Nowadays, lots of stress tends to lead more to switching as opposed to splitting, but I can't say for sure it'll never happen again, but it's definitely not really the most fun thing ever. Catherine, as for us, it's been kind of difficult. Yeah, I can imagine. It's hard when people don't get it. Our recommendation is to show your boyfriend easy to understand material about what DID is and what it isn't, since a lot of people have some very messed up misconceptions because of the stigma. So, show him good, reputable information about what it is, what it isn't, how it works, and, you know, all of that. Like, you could go on to, what is it called? Come on. I can't think of the name at the moment, but there is a website where you can find scientific studies specifically on certain topics. And we once looked on there to see how many studies there'd been done about DID specifically, and there were thousands. So you can show them things like that to show them that it's well documented, and just kind of expect to do a lot of hand holding throughout the process because unfortunately a lot of times when people have misconceptions already. It's going to take more time for them to learn, but it's certainly possible. So, we definitely recommend just showing him different materials. You could show him videos from us, from other systems, whatever you're most comfortable doing to help him get more of an idea. And then, just kind of try to give him time to process because it's a lot for those of us who have DID and OSDD to process. It's a lot for partners to process too. But definitely do not tolerate any sort of bad treatment. If your boyfriend is being rude or unpleasant about it in any way, definitely call that out. Don't tolerate that. That's no good. But definitely, you know, take it slow so as not to overload him, just like you wouldn't want to overload yourselves. SB Jedi, wow, 9 to 14 is average. We are 13 that we know of. Only time we've ever been average on anything, lol. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's kind of like for us, we like to joke that, we fall into a lot of minority categories for a white body system. So it's always one of those things that's interesting. Squip, regarding Irish, I'm thinking it's the most common form of Irish, so probably Gaelic or Celtic then. That would be my guess. You could probably ask them. They would probably know. Like, show them the different available languages, and they could probably point out which one is the right one. Catherine, we have 13 here and we do co-front occasionally. Very disconcerting. Yeah, co-fronting can be very disconcerting. We've tried to lean more towards co-consciousness versus co-fronting most of the time, just because co-fronting can be so disorienting. But we've definitely done it before, lots of times. It always feels kind of weird because then half of our body feels numb to me, or whatever part of the body that the other person is using feels numb. It's really very awkward feeling. Squip, for them to study Irish, that means body time, which means coordinating that body time with others. That makes sense. It's one of those things that everything kind of has to be balanced out. Like we have set up a lot of things in our inner world to give people more of the things that they want to do that maybe we don't always necessarily have time for outer world because, I have a child I have to take care of. But we always try to make time whenever anybody really wants to do something or something is really important to somebody for them to be able to do it. So it's kind of one of those balancing acts where you just got to kind of find the schedule that works. Coven system. I can't get therapy because my mom is one of those mental illness isn't real. If you're depressed, then just smile people and refuses to get help for me. Oh, that's terrible. So sorry to hear that. Our therapy is watching DID YouTubers for now. Well, hey, there's lots of workbooks out there that you can do on your own that are specifically made for trauma survivors and DID systems. And there's lots of resources out there, like apps and things you can use to learn different positive coping mechanisms. So definitely we recommend giving that a Google and seeing what you can find because we've actually found some very, very helpful things in workbooks before when we weren't able to go to therapy because we didn't have insurance at the time. And we found workbooks to be very helpful. So, it's definitely something that's out there. So you might want to look into that if that's a possibility for you. Ask Jedi Coven, we had one split that was triggered by stress recently. Body is 51, and that newest one was what tipped off our host that we weren't just her imagination. We've had 3 stress splits since age 18. That's no fun. Catherine, I, Cat, am left-handed, but most of us are right-handed. I'm the co-host. The only thing my significant other has watched is me, myself, and Irene, and we personally don't think that's a good outlet. Uh, yeah, definitely recommend staying away from Hollywood representations of DID or OSTD. Definitely better to look for documentaries or other media that is made about actual people, because that tends to be a lot more accurate and tends to show a lot more of what's really going on, and can definitely relate to the handedness thing. Like, for instance, I'm right-handed, but a good portion of us are left-handed or ambidextrous, so definitely relate on that one. In fact, pretty much everybody who is left-handed is able to use our right hand if necessary, just because it was necessary for masking the fact that we were multiple when we were young. So it's one of those things that it's just always kind of an interesting thing. But Catherine, thanks. We're grateful of the help. Oh, you're very welcome. Aspie Jedi, Coven, sorry your family is not supportive. You're welcome to DM me on Twitter if you want. And you're definitely welcome to send us an email. Hold on just a second. That would be my small child. I'll be right back. Sweetheart. Sorry about that. Small child needed my help. Okay. Anyway, Aspie Jedi, lots of depersonalization, derealization for us when confronting. Yeah, definitely. Confronting is hard. Rainbow System, I feel like someone is trying to confront with me right now. Yeah, we have that happen. Our general recommendation is try to talk to whoever it is, try not to fight it too much, and just try to find a balance. You know, maybe ask if they'd be more comfortable being co-conscious instead of confronting, if that's going to be really disorienting for the both of you. Like, now we did a lot of co-fronting before we knew what was going on with us, like a war over how to move that always ended in headaches. Yeah. Dissociation of any type can cause headaches, but definitely co-fronting and too many people trying to be co-conscious or co-front all at the same time can definitely cause a lot of strain. SP Jedi like that same, yeah, definitely. We are nearly always co-con though in a few different combos. Yeah, we have developed pretty good co-consciousness for those of us in the front, so we're usually pretty co-conscious for those of us in the front layer anyway. In various combinations, much like you said. So definitely can relate on that one. SP Jedi, like not us too. Yay, sharing. Woot. The Coven system, Aspie, thank you. And Aspie sends Coven hearts, yay. System Unbound, workbooks, any specific ones good for DID? As for workbooks, we found that it really is one of those things that there is no one size fits all answer. There are a lot of different workbooks out there, and different ones work for different systems. And some even work for different systems at different times. Um, and it really depends on what specifically you're trying to work on. Like, for instance, we're doing one right now called Becoming Yourself, which is about dealing with DID or OSDD and overcoming the specific type of trauma that is our main source of trauma. So that's been really, really helpful for us. But for a system that does not come from the same type of trauma, that wouldn't necessarily be helpful. Um, there was one, what was it called? It's called Got Parts, that we've heard lots of good things about, that works for some people and does not work for other people. It's one of those things that you kind of have to trial and error. It's a lot like finding the right therapist. You have to find the one that's the right fit. Our general recommendation is if you have access to a library, go to the library and check out the workbooks and stuff for mental health that they have there. Um, Try ebooks, which tend to be less expensive, so that you can try out lots of different ones until you find the right one. But it's really dependent on your individual needs as a system, what's going to work. Because different workbooks are designed for different kinds of purposes. The Coven system. The movie Sybil is maybe the only decent representation of DID I've seen. There's one from 1976 and one from 2009. The 2009 one you can find in full on YouTube. Interesting. It's based on a real woman named Shirley Arden Mason. She came out later though and said she made it all up, had proof. Yeah, that was interesting. Howdy, Jack here. What's up? Hello, Jack. Welcome to the live stream. Coven system, really? Wow. Well, at least there was a decent movie that came out of it, I suppose. Still, that's really upsetting. Yeah. When we found out about the whole Sybil was made up thing, it was kind of like, wow, well, that kind of sucks. All kinds. But, unfortunately, things can happen. There's people out there, unfortunately, who do fake DID or OSDD. And, while it's certainly not the norm, and, it doesn't happen all the time or anything, it does happen. It's kind of like there are people out there who fake having cancer. Doesn't make cancer any less real, but unfortunately, there are people who do fake it. And sorry I had to get up and leave there for a minute. My small child required my assistance. Script for the protectors. I've been trying to encourage one of my system's protectors. It's okay to do nice things for yourself. Any advice? Um, General advice is, take it slow, work within their comfort level. Because for a lot of people, protectors seem to be more prone to this than others that we've found. But for a lot of people in the system, for any DID or OSDD system, there can be a lot of difficulty with self care, with doing things for yourself, because a lot of people who have trauma have internalized the message that taking care of yourself is bad. So, start small. Maybe start out by encouraging them to do some of their favorite activities or pick up a new activity if they don't have any that they've been currently doing, maybe a hobby. and just be really supportive and let them take it at their own pace because it's going to probably take time. We've had plenty of system members that struggle really hard with being able to do things for themselves due to various and sundry reasons. A lot of it ends up boiling down to feeling like it's selfish to do things for themselves. Even I have trouble with that still, and I've been in therapy a long time. So it's one of those things that just kind of takes time and gentleness, and that's really all you can do. The Coven system, maybe soon there will be a true story that's actually true. Yeah. The Three Faces of Eve, though it was not entirely accurate to the story, actually is based on a real person. Um, Chris Sizemore, I believe. And that actually has been something that the real system involved has actually talked about. The fact that, while the movie itself wasn't fully accurate, that their DID is very real. So that's a thing. But generally, there's lots of good documentaries out there about DID. So those at least are very true. So that's good. System Unbound. Why and how would anyone want or have the energy to fake that? Why? It generally has to do with people who have other mental health conditions that they're misinterpreting. Like people who are bipolar, people who have borderline personality disorder, people who have schizophrenia or other psychotic disorders may, with the wrong therapist, misunderstand what is going on as being a dissociative disorder, or may on their own misunderstand what is going on. Also, it's not uncommon to run into people who have factitious disorder or malingering who are faking illnesses. So sometimes it's unintentional and they were just wrong. They were misdiagnosed or they misunderstood what was happening and thought they had something going on that wasn't. And then other people, it is because they have a mental health condition that causes them to seek out faking illnesses. But I have never heard of a completely mentally healthy individual faking any illness or disorder because, as a general rule, completely mentally healthy individuals wouldn't have a reason to. So it a lot of times ends up being something else. Doesn't mean those people don't need help. They just don't have DID. This is interesting. A lot of people here. Whoa, hello. Yeah, there are quite a few people here. And if you count people and not just bodies, it gets even bigger. When Rabbit Howls is very triggering, but based on someone with real DID made into a TV movie on YouTube. Yep. Watched that one. That was a good one. Kids' hearts. Yep. Yay. Yay, small, cute people. And then Coven System says, Aspie, I'll check it out. Oh, good. Aspie Unbound agreed. It's hard enough when you actually deal with it. We've never understood people who crave attention. We'd prefer to hide under a rock most days. Yeah, while we are pretty darn open online about having DID in real life, no. We only tell people on a need to know basis. That's because online it's a lot safer, at least for us. We can be ourselves online in a way that we can't in face-to-face interactions with people. So definitely relate on that one. Unbound, have you seen the unboxing videos right there? Free stuff. Interesting. Coven System, I wish I could stay longer, but I have to go. Happy 4th to anybody here who lives in the US. Have a nice day/night. Bye, Coven System. Have a good one. System Unbound, haha, I don't watch the unboxings. Really short attention span, Nar. Oh, that's okay. From my perspective, I've met several gamers who think combat reflexes are cool and wish they had them. I don't think they are aware what it takes to acquire those reflexes. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a lot of ignorance in the world, and it's part of why we do what we do, and why we 100% support anybody doing YouTube or any other platform that is trying to educate people on things that most people just don't understand, be that mental health or life experiences, what have you. But yeah, it's definitely important for people to be exposed to real education and information from people who really live certain experiences, because otherwise it's impossible to understand someone else's experience if either you've never seen it, no one has ever explained it to you, or you've never been through it yourself. How are you going to know? SB Jedi, no kidding script. Yeah, definitely. Ligna, zoning out too hard. I think I better go watch cartoons before I'm forced to. Okay. You have a good one. Enjoy your cartoons. I actually think we're going to be done here soon because it's about 9:30 for us and we need breakfast. We haven't had breakfast yet. So I'm going to take any more last minute questions or comments. And if there's anything else anybody wants to say before we're all done, go ahead. Squip, thank you for your time and thank you for your patience. Oh, you're very welcome. Always happy to help. Thank you for Nolan's. Aw, thank you. SB Jedi, thanks, Kit. Heart. Aw, that's very nice. Thank you. System Unbound. Yep, 2:30 a.m. here, but I'm glad. Aw, glad you woke up. Aw, yeah, 2:30 a.m. That's pretty darn early. Goodness. Everybody be safe and stay well. Rainbow System. Thanks, Kit. Smiley face. Aw. Squip. I've got a couple more questions, but email. Yes. Okay. Always happy to answer questions by email. So if anybody ever has any questions or commentary that they'd like to send our way, feel free to shoot us an email. It's listed in our About page for anybody who doesn't know what it is. So anybody who ever needs to talk to us, feel free. Take care of yourself, Yallins. Yallins matter. Aw, thank you. Much appreciated. Yana, stay safe, everyone. Aw. Everybody have a good one, and we will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.